So here we're going to install the rear mud flap. This one here has 3 holes. These 2 are at the factory setting on the car. This one here will be self-drilled into the car. The hardware will be included. You will have 2 C-clips, 3 number 10 screws, and 2 1/4-inch spacers. So first, before we get this installed, you will need to remove the rear wheel, jacking up the car and taking out the lug nuts. After you have that done, you'll probably need a tool like this or a screwdriver, because what we're going to do is we're going to take out the 2 screws here, and underneath there's a pop clip, and this tool makes it much easier to remove the pop clip. After you have that pop clip removed, there will be 2 plastic clips in here from the factory. This one has already been fitted, so unfortunately I cannot show the removal of those. But there are 2 plastic clips that you pinch together and they will come out with great ease. So after you remove those 2 clips, all you have to do is insert the provided number 10 C-clips. You just slide them right over the top of these grooves here where the original holes were, and they should go right into place exactly where they're supposed to be. After you have those in, you can actually take your pop clip and you can replace that back into the carrier, and now you can start the install on the mud flap. So the first thing, installing this mud flap, the 2 top holes will line up with these 2 holes here. The easiest way to do this is to take the one of the number 10 screws, place it through the hole in the mud flap, and then take one of your spacers and put it over top. This will allow you to have the spacer in there and you won't have to fight with it. And then you'll take a Phillips head screwdriver and reinstall. It will start to thread into the C-clip. Next, you will do the same steps for the bottom. You'll take the screw through the hole, and the spacer on the other side, and repeat the same steps as what you did on the top. And you just thread this through. You can draw these down pretty tight, that way they hold very well. The 3rd screw that you will have is going to go into this hole here, which will go into the plastic fender liner. It's self-tapping, so it'll make the hole for you. So all you do is you give it a little bit of a push, turn. May take a little bit of effort, but once you're through, it'll start threading itself. And do not over tighten it. It will strip the hole, but other than that, it is all set and ready to go. So here we have the front mud flap, which we'll be installing next. There are 4 holes for this install. These 2 holes here are for the factory sections on the body itself already, and the other 2 holes will be inserted in. I will show you how to do that then. As for the hardware, you will be included with a spacer and 2 number 10 screws for each side. You will also reuse the factory screws. So to install the front mud flap, the easiest way to do this is first you'll remove the 2 factory screws that were set here and here, and we will reuse them in these 2 holes here, which are slightly larger to allow for a little bit of adjustment. We'll take them, put them through the hole, Start with one, kind of hand tighten it a little bit to get it set, and then you'll take the other one for the bottom one, and you'll get that set in there. Once you have these two set in, it's best to tighten them down for the next two screws. You will use a Phillips head screwdriver to tighten these two down. Once you have those nice and tight, the next install piece will be this top hole here. You will take one of the number 10 screws with the self-tapper and a 1/4 inch spacer. The best way to do this is you're going to have to pull this down like so. Take the screw from underneath, put the spacer over top of the screw, and what this will do is, and the screw is self-tapping, so once you start going, it will drill right into the plastic fender liner, not into the body. Once that starts going, get nice and snug. Remember not to over tighten this or else it will strip out. It's best to also use a stubby screwdriver to avoid having to remove the front wheel. If it's easier to remove the front wheel for you, you may do so. For this install, I will not be. And the last screw here will go into this rear hole here, which is where the stubby screwdriver comes into play. You'll take the screwdriver and you will do the same thing as you kind of did for the top. Just kind of give it a little bit of a push and twist, and it'll go through the plastic and then start threading itself into the plastic fender liner. Once you have it snug, do not over tighten, your front mud flap install is complete.